The GoPro Hero 10. GoPro's latest release, the GoPro Hero 10, was pretty much on thin ice when it was rumored to actually come out. However, I think the GoPro Hero 10 has actually reclaimed its honor and clawed its way back up to probably being I'd say the best action camera on the market. But I'm not going to be doing a review today. I'm a little late to that train, and unfortunately that has completely left the station. You've been hearing everyone saying that it's pretty much the best GoPro or what the Hero 9 should have been. But what is it like to actually use? Let's go into it. Now, the GoPro Hero 10 that I currently have this update for it, so at the time of recording, this is the current update I have for it, so we're kind of reviewing the GoPro Hero 10 as it is, but there has been a few fixes, so things may change in the future and the GoPro Hero 10 might get better in the future with further updates. The price is something left to be desired, being that here in Australia, pretty much when I first saw it at, it went for a measly 800 kangaroo dollars. Whoa, what? Yeah. I totally buckled at the subscription. By the way, GoPro, kind of a low, shallow move, and we know what other cameras from you are gonna be like from the future, so thanks for that. And yeah, so you won't be getting my money next year. That is 100%. I don't even care if it's water-cooled or it has 8K. Just kind of a dick move having the subscription thing. Now, I don't see why I need an app to make my camera work. So powering on the camera, we have a tasteful selection of resolutions and frame rates to choose from. Here are now the most notable ones highlighted. Hypersmooth 4.0 is a bit of an upgrade from 3.0, but not much though. It's more like small incremental upgrades, which kind of sucks.
Oh! Also, we got a hydro. Oh shit! Hold on. Muddy. Oh. Also, we've got a hydrophobic lens, so being that if water gets sprayed onto it, the water droplets should just kind of like mold over it. So, all right. So we've chucked on boost, and as you can see, it's a little bit more cropped in. If we compare it from the last shot, then it should be like pretty bad. Go up here, some ruts. More ruts. Oh yeah. Go down the middle again, and down. Oh, picking this line. Oh, just made it.
A bigger upgrade though is the Horizon 11. I think we're getting about an extra 30 degrees of actual tilt. So a bit of a jump from the Hero 9, which is kind of nice. So this is probably the best way to actually demonstrate Horizon leveling. So what should happen is that you should see the camera start to turn, but the actual image hasn't turned yet. But then once we get to a certain point, yep, see it? And then it just goes back. Which is pretty cool in its own, so yeah, so as this is like, the camera's tilted, but the image is stable, or the image is corrected to a certain point before it actually decides to click in. So yeah, that's Horizon leveling for you. Hyperlapse has been improved as well with another incremental upgrade. I honestly don't really see much. I think there's capturing more frames as it is, and I think there's a lot more processing going on with the new GP2 processor. Slow motion is great, being that now we can have a full 240 frames from 1080p to 2.7K. And 120 frames in 4K, so pretty much double the resolutions and frame rates of what we had last year. Although I feel like we're kind of being a bit cheated with 1080p and no 480 frames per second, but maybe next year's model when we'll have it. I'm still not going to upgrade to it. Photos are great with 23 megapixels with 19 megapixels taken from videos while using the app. But it's great having the option to take any still images from a video file and have something sharp and clear without losing any type of quality. It's absolutely great. This is probably like a thumbnail machine. Time-lapse is still kind of saying not much has changed, and the same thing as with night-lapse, they're pretty much bog standard.
So all I've done is I've pretty much kind of done a review when I wasn't really intending to. It's more so like, it's kind of hard to do it like, how do you use the GoPro? Because everyone's going to have different applications for what they're going to use the GoPro for.
like whether it be for actual vloggers out there or people actually looking to do more actiony sports stuff, you know, actually use what GoPros are for. So it's kind of hard to actually kind of describe, but other than that, I'm just going to go over that the Hero 8 and the Hero 9 pretty much suffered from the GP1 processor. Now, being that we have the GP2 processor in this bad boy, it pretty much runs beautifully, and I feel like I can actually rely on this camera. It's easy to use with quick shots, being that I can pretty much just have to hit the record button and I'm already going. There's also a bit of a buffer setting you can set up. However, that's pretty much always recording, so you know it's going to be like burning away battery life, which I pretty much don't recommend that mode. But what this is that instead of like, you know, trying to get the perfect shot or like the perfect timing, you can set up this buffer and then kind of just pre-record things and hit the shutter button, and then pretty much you capture, you know, whatever you got before, if you've missed it, or, you know, that was like the perfect take and you've got it just then. So using the camera as a vlogging setup, it's absolutely amazing. Incredibly light, got the front screen as well, pretty much always on. I can pretty much judge myself. It is lower resolution, but like from here, I can't see. This is arm's length apart, and to be honest, I really can't actually tell the actual screen quality is actually like lowered a little bit. Now, in terms of using it as an action camera, I'd say some people were complaining about the GoPro Hero 9 size, and being that the GoPro Hero 10 shares pretty much the same chassis, so you're not really escaping the size. But to be honest, I like the size. I like it because I can pretty much feel it on me. Now, I know people want to kind of get in the zone when doing their thing, which I totally understand, and you know, yeah, that's fine and all. But if you didn't like the GoPro's Hero 9 size because it felt too bulky to you on yourself, then I don't think you're really gonna like the Hero 10. It's great and it's actually usable. But yeah, personally with me, I actually like feeling the camera because then I know it's still attached to me. But yeah, using it for action and using it probably for the most uncomfortable like positions on where you can use the GoPro is FPV. Pretty much I have it with the bite mount and it looks fantastic. Like I can pretty much get away with it, and I can either underslung it under my chin or have it on top of here. It doesn't really get in the way. I don't fog up the screen with my nose. It actually looks fine as it is. Now, if you've had the Hero 9 and the Hero 8, in terms of using the Hero 10, it's a lot more easier because of the GP2 processor. And for those who don't know, it's pretty much now like an actual GoPro. You can pretty much pick it up, start recording, and get your shots. But that's pretty much it. But yeah, it really does depend on your application of what you're using the GoPro for. If you're using it for live stream, it does get hot. It does get hot. So for live streaming, it may get really warm. If anything, I'd actually love to test that out. Live streaming directly from the GoPro to my phone and then to YouTube or something. So that might be coming for Jordan YT for a Random Nautica, a live Random Nautica. But then I need to figure out how to power the damn thing and see if it actually keep recording. But other than that, we'll play around with it. But yeah, I know they kind of pushed it, so I'm gonna have to do some research on that, because yeah, it does. If you were to record like I'd say a 30-minute clip in like 4K or 5K, then it does overheat. In other resolutions from 1080p to 2.7K, I really haven't seen it falter. So yeah, I think it's reliable. If you're a 1080p man like me, yes, I haven't switched to 4K yet because it's a god nightmare to edit. But yeah, 1080p, honestly now the camera doesn't get warm. Doesn't really feel warm whatsoever. It feels cool to the touch. So I honestly think I can trust this. So if you're wanting to use this for vlogging, it's pretty much, well, I wouldn't say the perfect camera. I wouldn't say the perfect vlogging camera because everyone's got different needs. But yeah, if you're wanting to use a GoPro as a vlogging camera, it's pretty much the best 1080p machine. Probably even the best 2.7K machine. 4K and 5.3K, it gets warm. So, but other than that. But yeah, now for a typical action camera, I mean, it's built tough. The lens is replaceable, which is absolutely fantastic. And being that if you're buying it with a subscription, which I imagine a lot of you will just to save some money, as painful as that is to actually say, because I personally hate subscriptions. I'm disgusted in subscriptions because more and more every day, like more companies are either going to adopt it, and eventually it's going to get to a point where we don't own anything. You know, we don't own a single thing. We're all subscribed to the fucking company, and it's disgusting. I hate it. We actually don't own the product.
I mean, technically I do. I did buy it out, and you know, I technically don't have to pay him next year, and then, you know, it's technically mine. But yeah, quite disgusting. Anyway, that's another topic for another day. But yeah, actually using it's very simple. The UI itself is pretty much improved 100%. Everything is butter smooth. It actually feels like a nice, I'd say like 60 Hertz. I don't know the actual like refresh rate of both screens, but honestly, the UI feels absolutely buttery smooth. So using the actual UI, pretty much changing all your settings, going through everything is an absolute breeze and easy peasy to do. And yeah, pretty much using it just as is, whether it's vlogging application or an actual action application, it's pretty much that. Also, being that it's waterproof straight out of the box is fantastic. I think it's up to 10 meters that this is pretty much waterproof. And then if you want to go further, obviously you need a dive casing for that. So beggars can't be choosers.
Now, should you upgrade or should you buy? This is tough to say because it really depends on you, and I don't know everyone out there, but I'm gonna break it down as best as I can whether you should or shouldn't or upgrade or buy. So here we go. In my opinion, if you don't have the latest GoPro, I mean from GoPro 7 below, if you got a 6, sell that thing. That thing is garbage. Yeah, sell the 6. If you got from 5 below and you're wanting to upgrade, then yes, Hero 10 is definitely worth it for you. And let's say if you are on a budget and you're in that same field, then go with the Hero 7. Hero 7 is pretty much the best of what the GP1 processor can offer. It's still got all the great things before it starts to really bog down from the 8 and 9. Now, let's say if you are willing to upgrade from, let's say if you're on the 8 and 9 and feel like the camera is actually holding you back, in terms of holding you back more so that, like, you know, it's overheating and you feel that the camera is unreliable. I did with my Hero 8 and that's why I sold that. Thank God I didn't upgrade to the Hero 9. That was a pile of trash, burning trash. But yeah, if you feel like the Hero 8 and the Hero 9 are holding you back pretty much because of its limitations with the GP1 processor, then definitely upgrade to the Hero 10. Now, I'm gonna do some conspiracy theory predictions here and saying that the Hero 11 next year is probably not gonna be worth even upgrading from the 10. I reckon the GoPro Hero 10 is the best camera. Now, I could be wrong, so take this with a grain of salt. I believe that the GoPro Hero 10 is gonna be the best camera for a very long time. Now, why do I think that? Well, being that the GP2 processor is new, and just like the GP1 processor, the further along the iterations of GoPro we had, the slower and slower it got. So I imagine the Hero 11 is probably going to be not as good, unless they do a GP3, but who knows. But as of GoPro claims, they're still going to use the GP2 processor. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of all of it, I don't know the architecture or the coding, so it could actually be a lot more powerful, it's just being held back. So I'm not too sure. But other than that, from what I can see, is that maybe even if the GoPro 11 is the best GoPro in the world, I still think the Hero 10 is like worth its shape. From the Hero 11, it's probably going to be burning hot piles of garbage and unusable. So that is my guess. Now, in terms of battery life, honestly, I do recommend you actually pick up the battery bundle, being you get an extra battery that comes along with the camera and the charging cradle. 100% recommend that. Because like this thing eats batteries. Like this thing proper eats batteries. When I was setting it up, I pretty much went from 100% battery to about, I think 85%. And that was just by setting it up, and I thought that was just absolutely insane. So pretty much now with GoPros, you kind of just have to have either a charger with you, like a power bank to charge those batteries, or you have to have multiple batteries on standby. So, which is probably much what I'm gonna be doing. Oh, and also if you're like, let's say, holding out for the GoPro, if you're thinking about buying the GoPro Hero 10 over the DJI Action 2. Now personally, I don't have the DJI Action 2, but from what I've been seeing, I don't think it's worth it because interchangeable batteries are pretty much a must. So the GoPro Hero 10, I definitely recommend getting over the Action 2, regardless of its size. Like the Hero 10 is freaking amazing. It is absolutely fantastic. Not only that, got more resolutions, even though that's not really meant for everyone. It's technically also a bit sharper as well, so keep that in mind. Now, in terms of the actual images that you get from the GoPro, they are absolutely fantastic. I'd say they're a little bit more of an upgrade from the Hero 9. I think what's probably a more noticeable upgrade is that better low light performance in the Hero 10. And honestly, like, they're actually doing a lot more better, especially when you turn hyper smooth off in like super dark scenarios, then it actually looks decent, you can get away with it. But at the same time, these are GoPros and these are action cams, they pretty much need a fair bit of light to get stuff working. So yeah, always keep that in mind. Now, how does the body actually feel? Well, the GoPro has definitely changed. It's gone from more of an entire metal housing from the 8 and 9, being that the main body itself is actually has more of a, it is a metal housing for the center, but it's also got this covering to it, almost like kind of a texture of vinyl that's kind of wrapped over it, or like a more of a wrapping. And then on each surfaces of the camera, whether that be the screen or the front, it's actually got a rubber coating. The door itself is actually a pain to open. There's like, I feel like the latch actually has got a lot more travel before you go to unlatch it, and like it is a super strong latch. Like it's even harder to actually intentionally pull off. But yeah, I feel like the springs themselves are a lot more stronger, so that's very nice. But yeah, other than that, I kind of wish the door was actually, oh my God. Like you've actually got to really pull it out to kind of slide it back in. Kind of don't like, but I don't know, that might loosen up over time, but I'm not too sure. The buttons have kind of changed, being that the mode button is a bit smaller and not recessed. It actually sticks out a little bit. And this, I don't really like the mode button. It kind of just, it's kind of just a bitch to press. Like it's not as easy as to press as I would like. And I just kind of wish the actual top button was actually very similar, but unfortunately no. So, all right, so that's gonna do it for me for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be seeing you in the next week with another video coming. Probably gonna be using the GoPro Hero 10 in a more of a parkour situation, see how things are going. So anyway, that's gonna do it for me. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please click the links and annotations for more videos that I've done. Like, comment, and subscribe today. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.